Hello everyone, I'm Frank and welcome to Learn How to Sudoku, where we take a very easy variant Sudoku puzzle and we break it down in detail so that you can learn how to Sudoku. Today's very easy puzzle is called Orbit and it's by Skojo. And here are the rules. Normal Sudoku rules apply. Place the digits 1 through 9 once each in every row, column, and 3x3 box. We also have planetary arrows, which show the planets orbiting. Though they don't actually, I think this is actually not completely accurate, but it's still pretty funny. It's still pretty cool, actually. Um, I think it is because I believe all planets orbit in the same direction, except for one. And I don't remember which one it is. And these are orbiting sort of every which way, not in the same direction, right? You have one orbiting counter, these two orbiting counterclockwise, whereas these four are orbiting clockwise, and then these two are orbiting counterclockwise, which I'm pretty sure is not completely accurate. Um, Also, we have Saturn being kind of the same size as Jupiter, which is a little bit sus, but that's okay. The Mercury, I like the Mercury, the Venus, Mars, and Earth are, um, appropriately colored. I'm guessing this is Neptune and this is Uranus. So, um, they're all at the appropriate length apart from the sun, which is good. It's just that the orbits are not exactly the. Um, I don't think. Yeah, it's basically they're all actually maybe they all orbit in the same direction. So that would be a little bit difficult actually to engender. Anyways, the planetary arrows, where the digits along the arrow sum to the digit in the attached planet. So these two cells must add up to what this planet has. These two cells must add up to what this planet has. These 5 cells must add up to what this planet has. And these 5 cells must add up to what this planet has. So as an example for Mars, we could have something along the lines of, I don't know, 1, or that can't be 1, but say 3 and 1, and this is 4. Because these two digits along the planetary arrow of Mars adds up to what Mars is. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. I must say, Skojo, you did an excellent job with the. It's a very cool representation of the puzzle. I'm a little nitpicking here, but I'm just saying, just for accuracy's sake, I guess. Anyways, there's going to be a link in the description for those of you who want to play along. And now I'm going to get started. So let's learn how to Sudoku. Okay, the one thing that sticks out to me is Mercury and Venus have 5 arrows attached to it. Or sorry, 5 cells attached to the along the arrow. Now, what's the minimum you could have? It's 1 and 2 here, which is 3, and 1, 2, and 3 here because they're in the same box. Therefore, they have to have 3 unique digits here. And this has to have 2 unique digits, so that's why it's 1 and 2. So you have 1 and 2 at minimum here, 1, 2, 3 at minimum here, so that's 3 plus 6, which is 9, which is the maximum value you can have on a planet. And therefore, it must be exactly equal to that. So this must be 9, this must be 9, so both Mercury and Venus are 9. And hence why you can't have, well, no, actually, never mind, I don't know. This is 1, 2, and 3. Not 4. 1, 2, and 3. These are 1 and 2, so this can't be 1, 2. It has to be 1, which makes this a 2. This can't be 2, because again, this is 1 and 2, so this must be 1, which makes that a 2. And these are 1, 2, and 3 here to add up to 9. This can't be 2, and this can't be 2. We know we have a 1 here. So this can't be 1, so one of these 2 cells is a 1. Well, 1 can't be here in this box, and 1 can't be here in this box because of the 1 One of these two is a 1 here. I can eventually click on it. This can't be 1 here, so one of these two is a 1. Now this is interesting. What's the minimum value for Earth? Well, this can't be 1 or 2, so this is at minimum 3. This can't be 1 or 2, so this is also a minimum 3. Actually, we also know here, this is minimum value 3, this is minimum value 3. This can't be 1, so this is at least 2. So this has to be 8. This is at minimum 8 to add up to this, right? It could be 2, 3, or this could be 4, or this could be 4. Can this ever be 3? No, right? Because then it would be 3, 3, 3 at minimum, and that would not add that. You can't have 2 3s in the same box. If you try to have this as a 4, that doesn't work because this is 3, 4, and then 3 at minimum, which is 10. So this always has to be a 2, which means this cannot be 2. Therefore, we have a 1, 3, 1, 3 pair in this box, which eliminates 1, 3 in the same box. This can't be 3. This has to be a 2. 1 and 3 also cannot be in the same column. That doesn't really help much. What about Uranus? This cannot be... Okay, so yeah, let's continue with this. This is could be 1. So it could be 1. It could be 2. It cannot be 3 or 4. If it's 3, you have 2 3s. You would have to make this 4 then to add up to make sure they're not the same digit. And then this would be 4, and that would be 11 at least. If you had 4 here, this is at minimum 3 and 3. That adds up to 10. So we know, okay, so then one thing we know is, again, this is 1 or 2. This could be up to 3, 4, or 5, though. Could it be 6? No, because it's specifically minimum 1, 3, 5. Or sorry, maximum 1, 3, and 5. Well, we have a 1, 2, 3 triplet in column 7, which eliminates 1, 2, and 3 in the rest of the column. Therefore, if you have a 3, it has to be one of these two cells because it cannot be here. Therefore, one of these two cells has to be a 3. Therefore, this can't be 3, it can't be 2, it has to be a 1, which forces this to be 3, which means this is 2, and this can't be 2, so this is 1. So this adds up to 7, 8, or 9. This can't be 3, this must be a 1, which makes that a 3. Okay. This is at least... So this... Okay, let's go here. What digit can be in Neptune's arrows? It cannot have 3 and 4, because that would eliminate all possibilities for that cell. But you could have 3 or 5, so that's possible. You could have 3 and 6. You could have 4 and 5. And those are the only possibilities. So this has to add up to at least 3 and 5, which means this is at least 8. And it could be 9. Let's see. Do we have anything else? This is Saturn, Jupiter. This is at minimum 4. This is at minimum 3. So the Jupiter's at least 7 in size. This could go up to 6. This could go up to 5, because it could be 4 or 5 here. This is at minimum 4. This is at minimum 3. So again, Mars also is 7, 8, or 9. This could go up to 6 again, and this could go up to 5. Okay, this can't be... Mars cannot be 9. Jupiter cannot be 9. Okay, well, there we go. So this cannot go up to 6. It cannot be 4 and 5 added together. This can't be 4 and 5 added together. You have to have a 3 then here. You'll always have to have a 3 here, and this will always be a 3, right? Because you need something to add up to 7 or 8 in both of those cases. So this can't be 3 here, which means this is at minimum 3, 1, and 4 on Earth's arrow. So this can't be 7. This is at least 8. This is 3 with 4 or 5. This is 3 with 4 or 5. This can't be 3 anymore. That forces this to be 4. Well, this is now a minimum of 2, 4, and 3, so therefore Saturn is 9. This can no longer be 3. This has to now be 4, 5 pair here, because that's the only one that adds up to a digit, and this must be 9. So Neptune is a 9 also. 4 and 5 add up to 7 or 8. 4 and 5 add up to 7 or 8. This can no longer be 5, because if this were 5, this would have to be 1 and 3 to add up to 9. So this is 3 or 4. We have, what are the remaining digits in this box? Cannot be 4 or 5 because of the 4 or 5 pair in the box. So this is 6, 7, or 8. We know where 1 is in the upper right box. Cannot be here, cannot be here, and it can't be these, so this must be a 1. We know where 1 is in the lower left box. It has to be here, because it can't be here. And we now have 8, 1, so we know where the last one is. It has to be here. What about 3? We know where 3 is in the upper left box. Cannot be here, or here, so it must be here. That's 3 in the corner. We celebrate because we know we're getting close to the end. 3 has to be one of these two cells. And 3 is one of these two cells here. Okay, what about 4? We don't have many 4s. 9. We know where 9 is in the upper left box. Cannot be here, or here, so it must be here. We know where 9 is in the lower left box. Cannot be here, cannot be this one. Can't be here and here, so it must be here. So Uranus is also 9, which means it adds up with 3 and 6, or 4 and 5. So this is either 3 and that's 6, or this is 4 and 5, because this can never be 3 here. Therefore, in the rest of this box, one of these this cell has to be 3 or 4, and one of these cells has to be 3 or 4 also. So the rest of the box cannot be 3 or 4. So we have 5, 6, 7, 8 in the rest of the box. So 3 has to be one of these two cells. What else do we have? Do we have 5s? No. We don't have any other numbers. 9 has to be one of these two cells, and 9 must be one of these two cells. 9 has to be one of these two cells. Okay. Where's 4 in row 2? Can't be here. Can't be any of these. It has to be one of these two cells. Do we have anything else? Not particularly. Huh. Okay. What else do we have? We have all the ones and oh, we don't have all the twos. We do have all the ones. 2 has to be one of these remaining two cells here. Oh, okay, we know where 2 is in the lower left corner. So it can't be here, can't be here, can't be here, so it must be here. Which means 2 has to be one of these two cells also in the bottom right box. But that doesn't help too much. What about 3s now? We already, identified where the 3s can be. 4s are very limited. in the information we have. Okay. If this is 8, that means this cannot be, this has to be a 9, which means this can't be 9. So this has to be 9. If this is 8, this has to be 3 and 4. If this is 9, so if Earth is 9, that means this is 9, which means 3 has to be here. So then this would have to be 4 and 4. So either way, if this is 8, if Earth is 8, it has to be 3 and 4 here. If this Earth is 9, this can't be 9, so this would be 9, which forces this to be 3, which means this can't be 3. Therefore, this is 4 and 4, adding up to 9. Either way, this is a 4. So this is 4, which means this cannot be 4, which forces this to be 4, which means this must add up to 7. So Jupiter is 7. Interestingly enough, it's the smallest digit, even though it's the largest planet. But anyway, so 7 is here. That forces these to be 6 and 8. This could still be 8 or 9. We're not sure which. Okay. If this is 9, if Earth is 9, that would mean this is 4, 1, 4, because this can't be 9. This would have to be 9, which forces that to be 3, which makes that a 4. The problem with that is where that means 3 has to be here, which means this can't be 3. Therefore, this cell would have to be 3. But we know this was a 9 already, so this can't be 9, which means both of these have to be 3 and 9. So that leads to a contradiction. So this cannot be 9. Earth is 8, interestingly enough. I don't know what that signifies, but Earth is 8. This is 3, which makes this a 9. This cannot be 9 anymore. So this has to be a 9 in the lower right box. This can't be 9. This can't be 3. Therefore, this has to be 3. This is 9. This can no longer be 3. It has to be 4 and 6. This is no longer 3. So this has to be a 3 because of that 3. That's 3 in the corner again, which we celebrate because we know we're getting close to finishing the puzzle. This has to be a 2 because that's the only place for it in the lower right box, which means this can't be 2, which forces this to be 2. We have 5, 6, and 8. Okay, we still don't... Okay, this has to be 4 and 5, which means the rest of the box cannot contain 4 or 5. Okay, this is 5. The remaining cells in row 1 have to be 6, 7, and 8. So this is 6 or 7. This is 6, 7, or 8. The remaining cells in row 2 are 5, 6, and 8. This is 5, 6, and 8, and this is 5 or 6. The remaining cells in row 6 are 4, 6, 7. So this is 4, 6, 7. This can't be 4, so this is 6 or 7, and this could be 4, 6, 7. Where is the 4 in row 8? Cannot be any of these because of this 4. Can't be any of these. And can't be here because of this 4. So this must be a 4, which makes this a 7 also. So Mars is a 7 also. Interesting. Well, that means this can't be 7. Where is a 7 in row 6? It has to be one of these two cells. In column 5, we now have a 4, 5, 4, 5 pair and a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair, which eliminates 4, 5, 6, and 8 from the rest of the column. That leaves this as a 7 here. The rest of row 8 has to be 5, 6, and 8. The rest of row 9 has to be 6, 7, or 8 because the 4, 5 pair eliminates 4 and 5. So this is 6, 7, or 8. This is 6, 7, or 8. This can't be 5 because of this 5. Now we have a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair in row 8, which eliminates 6 and 8 from the rest of the row. Therefore, this is 5, which means this can't be 5. We now have a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair in row 2, which eliminates 6 and 8 in the rest of that row. So this must be 5. Okay, the remaining cells in column 8 have to be 6 and 7, but this can't be 7 because of this 7. So this must be 6, which makes this a 7. Therefore, this can't be 7. We have in this box a 6, 8 pair. So this is 6 and 8, this is 6 and 8. We have in this box, then, it has to be 5 and 7. So this is 5 and 7, this is 5 and 7. We have a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair in column 9, which means the remaining digits in the column are 4 and 7. This can't be 4 because of that 4. So this must be 7, which makes this a 4. This 4 means this has to be a 7, because that's the only digit remaining in the box. This can't be 7. We have a 6, 8, 6, 8 pair in column 7, which eliminates 6 and 7 in the column. So this must be a 5. Remaining digits here are 5 and 8. So that's fine. Remaining digits here, well, this has to be a 7 because there's no other place for it. There are 6 and 8 here. So this cannot be 6 or 8 because of the 6, 8, 6, 8 pair in the... Well, actually, let's just use this 7. This 7 means this can't be 7, so this is 6, which makes that a 4. Therefore, that makes this 7. This 6 means this can't be 6, so this is 8, which makes that 6, which makes that 8, which makes that 6, which makes that 8, which makes that 6. This 6 means this can't be 6, so this is 8, which makes that 6. This 8 means this has to be a 6, which makes that 8, which makes that 6. That's an 8, and this is all normal Sudoku. This can't be 4 because of this 4, so this is 5, which makes that 4, which makes that 5, which makes that 4. The last remaining digit in column 4 is a 6, so this is 6. This can't be 7 because of this 7, so this is 5, which makes that 7. This 5 means this can't be 5. That's an 8, which makes that 5. That's an 8, therefore. And we have 4 and 5 remaining. This has to be 5, and this must be a 4. So we have a 3 as the sun. We have 9 for Mercury, Venus, Saturn, Neptune, and Uranus. 7s are Mars and Jupiter. I guess they both have a red thing in them. Mars is red, and Jupiter has a red spot. And then Earth is 8. Interesting. Pretty cool representation. I love the different planets being represented, though the dwarf planet Pluto is excluded. Was always saddened when I heard that basically Pluto was no longer a planet. As a child, I was like, I don't know. We had to memorize the solar system planets, and they included Pluto, and then Pluto got essentially removed from that list. But anyways, I hope you enjoyed this episode of Learn How to Sudoku, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.